Chinese troops have pulled back from the Galwan Valley, but India continues to expedite its border construction to be prepared for any adversity. India Today's Manjeet Negi travelled to Nimmu in Ladakh's Leh to show you the strategic construction near the border with China. This is an exclusive report.
India is in full operational mode even as Chinese troops begin a limited pullback from flashpoints in eastern Ladakh. Vigilance hasn't slipped even a little. And as troops step back from the front lines, this is the big message India is sending out. That the chief irritant that sparked the standoff will not pause even for a moment. Road construction activity has been beefed up near the line of actual control for better connectivity with the northern sectors. This bridge, which you are seeing on your screens, did not exist 3 months ago. The Border Roads Organization has built a concrete bridge in place of a Bailey bridge in a record time of 3 months.
पहले इस सड़क पर इस तरह के पुराने लोहे के पुल बनाए गए थे जिन्हें वैली ब्रिज कहा जाता था और अब वीआरओ ने पिछले 3 महीने के अंदर एक तरह से कह सकते हैं रिकॉर्ड समय में एक नया मजबूत पुल पर तैयार किया है जिस पर सेना की बड़े वाहनों की बड़े हथियारों की आसानी से आवाजाही हो सकती है.
We have made this bridge in a day and night working over it in a record time of 3 months. Now it is the capability of carrying the 70 tons. That means any sort of load can be carried out to the LAC. Government has given us a mandate to construct, so we don't have any concern with the who's objecting and what.
India's determined efforts to press on with infrastructure in Ladakh is historic and comes after decades of neglect. And this is not the only bridge which has been erected. There are 2 more such bridges which have been made to assist the troops in transferring heavy armored vehicles like tanks.
आर्मी ट्रूप्स का गन टो करके लेके जाता था. उस गाड़ी का ये कर्व में दिक्कत होता है. अभी इसको हमने नेगोशिएट करने के लिए हमने ये नया ब्रिज बनाया.
India Today travelled further where another Bailey bridge on a river near Nimmu is being turned into a concrete one. BRO is building 40 strategic bridges in Ladakh, of which 20 have been completed in the last 3 years. This, according to the BRO, is one of the major reasons for Chinese belligerence.
इस वक्त हम आपको एक्सक्लूसिव तस्वीरें दिखा रहे हैं लाइन ऑफ एक्चुअल कंट्रोल पर किस तरह से सेना की आवाजाही को आसान बनाने के लिए सामरिक सड़कों और पुलों का निर्माण का जो काम है वो तेजी के साथ हो रहा है. खासतौर से पिछले 3 सालों में चीन से लगने वाली लद्दाख में जो 1200 किलोमीटर लंबी लाइन ऑफ एक्चुअल कंट्रोल है वहाँ पर ऐसे सामरिक जो पुल हैं उनका निर्माण का काम तेज हुआ है. खासतौर से अगर सरकार की बात की जाए मोदी सरकार ने पिछले सालों में चीन के साथ ऐसी सड़कों और पुलों के निर्माण पर काफ़ी जोर दिया है.
The construction of these roads have been a challenging task, but will be of great importance in case of any worst case scenario at the borders. The network of roads and bridges will ensure development, defense and sovereignty. With Manjeet Negi in Nimmu, Ladakh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Chinese troops have also pulled back from the Galwan Valley in what comes as a first sign of disengagement along the line of actual control. Now, the disengagement process began after Special Representatives for Border Talks, NSA Ajit Doval, and the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi spoke at length on Sunday. Here are the details.
The first signs of disengagement. China has pulled back troops from several flashpoint areas along the LAC in Ladakh. Sources in the government tell India Today the Chinese army was seen removing tents and moving back from certain areas of the Galwan Valley, the site of bloody clashes that left 20 Indian soldiers dead on June 15th. China too has confirmed disengagement.
The two sides.
Chinese and Indian troops are having commander-level talks. The two sides continue to work to implement consensus raised at the two previous rounds of talks.
There's progress made.
There is progress made. Frontline troops taking effective measures to disengage and ease the tensions.
Ease the tensions.
India Today has exclusive information of the pullback. The Chinese troops have retreated by 1 to 2 kilometers in the Galwan Valley. Some climb down is also seen in Pangong So, Hot Springs and Gogra areas. The pullback from Pangong So, however, has only been limited, with some Chinese positions being dismantled. The groundwork for disengagement is believed to have been prepared during the Corps Commander level talks between the two sides. The process, however, got a boost after a telephonic conversation between the NSA Ajit Doval and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, who are also special representatives of the two nations for border talks. During the 2-hour telephonic conversation, Doval and Wang agreed on ensuring phased de-escalation, while also stressing on maintaining peace in the border areas.
Till now, both sides have stuck to the plans of disengagement as discussed in various meetings, but this is just the first step to diffuse the situation. It might still take some time to verify things on the ground and ensure that a decided pullback takes place. With camera person Satya Abhishek Bhalla in Leh for India Today.
Let's get you the latest on the coronavirus crisis in India. First, getting you the numbers from the Health Ministry. Nationwide, the confirmed cases now stand at 6,97,413. The death toll at 19,693. Let's tell you the three worst affected states. In Maharashtra, the number of confirmed cases stands at 2,06,619, with the death toll at 8,822. Over to the numbers from Tamil Nadu, where the number of confirmed COVID cases stands at 1,11,151, the death toll at 1,510. In Delhi, the number of confirmed cases stands at 99,444 and 3,067 deaths have been reported so far in the national capital. So those are the latest figures from the Health Ministry. It will be shortly updated with the numbers that have come in the last 24 hours as well. Now, we just showed you the numbers from Tamil Nadu. Unfortunately, in what comes as a worrying trend, in several states in South India, we're seeing a massive surge in the number of COVID cases. You've got the states of Tamil Nadu as well as Karnataka, which have been leading the COVID surge in South India. Tamil Nadu has reported 3,827 fresh coronavirus cases in 24 hours. And out of these 3,827 cases, 1,747 cases were from Chennai. This as curbs began easing in Chennai after 12 days of strict lockdown. Yes, the numbers have come down in Tamil Nadu, but it is still significantly high. Karnataka too has been reporting a massive jump in COVID cases. In the last 24 hours, the state reported 1,843 cases. Bengaluru in itself reported over 900 cases. And in the wake of this surge of cases, Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa will meet the COVID Central team today. Kerala, meanwhile, that has so far managed to contain the virus spread, has reported 193 new cases, and that number is likely to go down as the state is currently, in fact, parts of the state is under a triple lockdown, including capital Thiruvananthapuram. The Andhra government, meanwhile, has been hailed for completing 1 million COVID-19 tests. But a political row has also erupted as former Chief Minister and TDP Chief Chandrababu Naidu has accused Jagan-led government of fudging data and claimed that it's nothing but a sham. In fact, taking to Twitter, Naidu went ahead and urged the centre to take cognizance of the matter and expose what he deemed an SMS testing scam run by the Andhra government. To support his claim, Chandrababu Naidu put two videos showing people receiving a message showing their COVID result, even though allegedly they never gave their samples. A shocking video has also surfaced from Andhra Pradesh showing the body of a COVID-19 patient being handled in an insensitive and disrespectful way. This incident occurred in the temple town of Tirupati in Chittoor district. Video of the incident shows an ambulance bringing the body to the burial ground, which is then flung into the burial pit using an earth mover. This comes a week after a video emerged from Ballari district in Karnataka, which showed bodies of COVID-19 victims being tossed carelessly into a mass grave. Another video from Karnataka's Yadgir showed body being dragged to the grave, and all of this has led to questions about whether we are dealing with this with the victims of COVID-19 insensitively. Over to the latest updates from Maharashtra. It's the worst affected state in the country. The government, however, has decided to go ahead and allow hotels as well as other entities that are providing accommodation services to resume operations with 33% capacity from tomorrow. This applies to hotels, lodges, guest houses, which are lying outside containment zones. Now, the state government has come up with a detailed SOP. Thermal screening will be mandatory at the entrance. Only asymptomatic guests will be allowed, and use of Arogya Setu app will be mandatory. Restaurants in hotels will ensure that seating arrangement is made in a way that social distancing is maintained. This relaxation in curbs came as Maharashtra recorded 5,368 new cases and 204 deaths on Monday. Even as businesses begin to kickstart amid the coronavirus pandemic, it's a different story altogether for the country's startup ecosystem. Struggling due to the lockdown and the pandemic, the industry fears a bleak future ahead.
हम एक सशक्त और आत्मनिर्भर भारत बनाएंगे, बना करके ही रहेंगे.
Modi government is giving a big push to self-reliant India. But it is a different story altogether for country's startup ecosystem. Crippled by the pandemic and the lockdown, an alarming 70% of startups impacted by COVID-19, with 12% shutting operations as per survey by the industry body FICCI, the FICCI.
Startups today are facing a fundamental problem of being able to build their revenues. Economic activity is opening up very slowly, and therefore customers are still not buying at the pace they were, surely not at the pace they were.
The figures are startling. Only 22% of startups have cash reserves to meet fixed expenses over the next 3 to 6 months. 33% face a freeze of the investment. Many are reaching out to the government.
What we need from the government is obviously support in much more larger scale, support in terms of investments being available for startups, so that the startups can sustain beyond this 3 to 4 months of cash that they have right now. But on the other side, there are challenges if you do not have access to finance and do not have access to markets, then that could be a challenge for you to sustain the initial 6 to 12 months from now.
Not just startups, their investors also have become jittery. 92% believe that investment will be subdued for the next 6 months.
स्टार्टअप इंडिया का बहुत अच्छा इफेक्ट हुआ स्टार्टअप्स के ऊपर. उससे एक बढ़िया इकोसिस्टम डेवलप हुआ. अब जो कोविड-19 है, उससे जो भी हमने काम किया था वो खत्म हो रहा है. 10-12% तो स्टार्टअप्स बंद हो चुके हैं और कुछ स्टार्टअप्स तो बिल्कुल आईसीयू स्टेज में हैं. बस थोड़ी ही देर रह गई है.
Indian startups are bleeding. Most of them are already in the ICU, and those who have survived COVID say that sustenance is a major problem. Most are also of the opinion sustained government help is the only way forward. Otherwise, we'll see a huge setback to the entire Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign which the government started. This is Aishwarya Paliwal reporting for India Today.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.